Hello everyone, welcome back to our class of economics. Last time we studied about the second chapter, that is 5-year plan in India, and we studied the topic of economic planning, needs for planning in India, then directive planning and comprehensive planning, then types of economies like capitalist, socialist and mixed economy. So we are going to begin with the new topic, that is long period and short period goals of planning in India. So what is long period goal? So long period, we can say that it is taken for the 5 years of the government duration. So in that way the government plans for 5-year activity, so that is taken as long period goals, and these goals are common in every 5-year plans, and they are also called as objectives of planning. Then now we talk about the short period plans. So short period plans are those plans which are specified for short period only, and we can say we can study as objectives of plan. Okay, we now you see the difference. Objectives of planning, it is for long period of time, and for short period of time or short period goal we can say objective of plans. Now we can say why these two plannings are there could be a contradict between them, between long period goals and short period goal. No, it is not like that. Okay, the government plans short period goal as a, you can say, a step for the long period goal to achieve its objective. Means small programs have been made, and we can say small short period goals are being made, and that are achieved, and they will be helping to achieve the long period goals also. So they are we can say it can help them to achieve this thing. It is complementary to each other. So now we talk about the long period goal objectives. First, that is 5 plans focused in the long period. Okay, in a long period goal we can say that the 5 points are there, that in that government try to focus, or it is being objectives are there. Okay, first one is GDP growth, then second one full employment, then third one equitable distribution or equity, then fourth modernization, then fifth, that is self sufficiency. Now we talk about the first point, that is GDP growth. Now gross domestic production, it means the production of goods and services in the country to be increased. Now first thing, GDP, under the GDP growth, first point is increase in GDP growth means increase in level of output in the economy. Means that how much GDP growth is there, then it will be considered as the growth in GDP. Now as increase in flow of goods and services in the economy. Now as the increase of GDP is there in the economy, we can say the goods and services flow have also been increased, or we can say economy is also increasing due to the GDP growth. Now increase of flow of goods and services for long period of time, it is called as economic growth. Means if the goods and services flow is there for a longer period of time, we can say the economic growth is there. Then increase in GDP depends upon two factors. First one, that increase in resource base of our country, means it is the discovery of resources within the our political boundary of the country, and which will help us to discover more and more resources for our country, which will help in production. Then second thing, we can adopt the increase in productivity through innovative technology. Means we can adopt the new techniques for production, so that productivity could be increased. So now the second goal is the full employment. Means people who are able to work and are willing to work at market wage rate getting work. Means here people, those who are able to work and willing to work, they are getting the work at the market wages. So we can say that this is not the situation of zero unemployment. Means children don't get confused with full employment and zero unemployment. Full employment means here people those who are willing to work and are able to work. And zero unemployment means that nobody is left without work. So there is these two topics are both are different. Okay, so here we are talking about the full employment. Now the full employment's second point, this is social objective of planning. So this is among the planning, it is also a social objective of the planning to be achieved by full employment. So objective is inclusive growth for the inner growth. Okay, then maximum should participate in the process of growth. Here the objective is that the from the society maximum people could participate in the process of growth, and the benefit is to be shared with the wider section of the society. Means here the full employment to be given to everybody, those who are willing to work and those who are able to work, so that the wider section could be covered and the benefit could be shared among the wider section of the society. Now we talk about the third point, that is equitable distribution or equity. Now economic growth becomes meaningless when it left benefits to the few hands of the society. We can say that the means if some economic growth is there in the country and when it is left in a few hands only, it means the purpose of the growth does not serve in the society. Means here only richer are getting rich people are getting richer and poor people are getting poorer. So it doesn't mean, or it doesn't mean any sense, or it doesn't help the economy or the country in a broader section or on a broader way. So we can see the observations. Virtually growth serves no purpose when rich becomes richer and poor becomes poorer. Here the growth has no meaning when it is serves only to rich and poor are not affected, or the some section of the society are not affected with the growth. Then second, benefit must be spread to all section of the society. The growth serves its purpose only when it serves to all section of the society. Now equitable distribution of income implies social equality. Now here we can get confused with equal distribution and equitable distribution. Now let me clear with the doubts if any is there. Equal distribution is that in which both, or we can say the all person in the section of society are getting equal wages, which is not possible. Means a doctor getting same wage and a labor is also getting same wages, so which is not possible in the economy. And equitable distribution suggests that it is a situation when difference in income are allowed but only within the certain limits. So we can see the difference between equitable distribution and equal distribution. Okay, then we talk about the modernization, that is fourth point focused in the objectives of long plan, that it refers to the updation and adaptation of modern technology in the process of growth. Now modernization is there when we adopt new techniques and we innovate or we discover something new for our benefit or for the growth purpose, then it is called as modernization. Now we can also say that it can be increased by increasing the pools of resources or by using the innovative techniques or technology. So now for example we can say green revolution in Indian agriculture is well known example of modernization. Now how modernization affect the things of or we can say the process of growth, we can see with the green revolution result. Then participation of we can say the modernization about one more thing, that participation of women with men in the process of production and contribution in the economy and social prosperity, leaving conventional wisdom. What do you mean by conventional wisdom? It means that the we can say the old thinkings. Okay, old thinkings, or we can say wisdom with which does not provide any valid reason. Now we talk about the fifth point, that is self sufficiency. It means that it refers to the state of being able to provide essential goods without the help of others. Means we are able to produce sufficient good food grains without the help from exporting from the importing from outer world, or we can say the country like USA and all. Okay, now this goal was given high priority during the first 7 plans. Now this was very serious plan because during that time what happened in 1965, USA threatened India to not to supply of not or you can say the to stop the supply of food grain to India if India does not stop fighting war with Pakistan. So see how they build a pressure on India to stop food grain, which was considered very important at that time. We can say that the basic idea was not to expose Indian economy to political pressures from the rest of the world. See, if the India would continue fight with Pakistan, the other countries threatened India that they won't be supplying any food grain to India. So India wanted to be self-sufficient or in the field of food grains. Means India wanted to produce more and more food grains for its country so that it can become self-reliance. Okay. So next time we will meet up with the next class and new topic, that is short period goals. Thank you.